Good morning and welcome to our Facebook Live this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire in the UK. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're joining us for the first time and we're live, do say hi if you'd like to and let us know that you're watching. If you have any questions or queries, then don't hesitate to pop them in the comment section. You can do that either while we're live, you can do it on the replay, and also you can comment on my YouTube video. So all of the videos that I create here on our Facebook page get uploaded to YouTube, usually the same day, usually within an hour or so. And so if you prefer to watch on YouTube, that is an option for you. Good morning, lovely Lily. I hope, excuse me, I hope you are well. So we are continuing on with this fun little stamp set, Badger Besties. And I've used these Monday and Tuesday of this week. It's currently Wednesday the 24th of November. So let me show you the cards. These are the this is the card, one of the cards I made on Monday, just with the single badger. Morning, Catherine. Morning, Tracy. And then I did this one here with the two badgers looking at each other, one holding a flower and one, well, dancing or hopping or whatever you want them to be doing. So that was on Monday. Yesterday I was showing you the mirror or reflection technique using the Stamparatus. That's our stamp positioning tool, and that allows you to mirror an image, and it doesn't matter which way. It can be mirrored left to right, can be mirrored top to bottom, any combination of those, but it's where you want the same image in a reflection. So that was the one we did yesterday. And the continuation of that, as suggested by, I think it was Kerry, our lovely Kerry in Australia, was to have some balloons attached that they were holding. And then we decided jointly that it'd be quite good fun to have them lifting the badgers off. So I added this little bit of ground here. And the ground and the balloons are from the Penguin Place stamp set, which is this one here. So I used this ground and that great balloon to make it look as if they were being lifted off. I was going to finish that last night, but I was still busy doing various bits and pieces. Oh, hi, Kerry. So I didn't finish that, but it gave me an idea for today's card, which will be a single badger but holding a whole series excuse me, of balloons. So we're just going to revisit the masking technique. Most of you, I suspect, will have seen this at some point or another, either from myself or any other demonstrator, or it might be something you do on a regular basis. And it's where you want multiple images to look like there's one behind the other or one in front of the other. So I'm going to be doing that today. So I'm going to use that same badger stamp and the balloon from the Penguin Place stamp set. So let me grab a piece of card. So I'm just using our basic white card this morning. Oh, you like the floating badgers? Yes, so I decided that obviously, because I pushed the ground down, we really needed the whole balloon. But there we go. It was a good bit of community work where we did the whole thing sort of between us together. So I'm going to take the badger down here and then have a whole stack of balloons at the top. That is my plan. and I'm just looking for my basic grey ink pad, which I think I've just tidied away. I had it here not 1 second ago. Bear with me. Oh no, it might be down here. Sorry, not a very good start, is it? Anyway, I hope everybody is keeping well. Oh no, it was there all along. So just going to stamp the single badger. This has got the arm going up, which looks really good for that. So I'm going to actually have this quite a long way down, so that I've got space for my balloons. There we go, like that. I will colour the badger in afterwards. I want to make sure that my balloons and things work first before I do any further colouring in. So when you're masking, what you need to do is provide yourself with a mask, because if you were just stamping balloons one over the other, you wouldn't get very good definition from one to another depending on the colour you were using. Let me just show you that really quickly. So this is, I've got Mango Melody and Pacific Point. Let's just see if this will. Just want to show you what happens if you don't mask. Now appreciate that this is on scrap paper, so it's not quite as effective. Let's try this one. So you can see here one behind the other, which I guess in balloons actually you probably would, to be honest. So you could probably get away with it. Let's put another one on just so you can see. And then I'll show you the one with the masked version, and hopefully you'll see the difference. It really does depend on what you're stamping. Okay. So I'm going to recreate that with the masking technique so you can see. Okay, just going to cover up some of these ink pads. So what we need to do is create a mask, and for that I'm going to use some post-it notes, and you want the sticky side to be attached to your image, so you don't want to stamp it down here. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you stamp it in. I think what I'm going to do is do one like that and one like that, so that I've got ink in different places. Morning, Sylvia. I hope you're well this morning. So I'm going to cut 2 of these at a time, so that I've got 4 masks to play with. And we do have a punch for this. If you have the old dual balloon punch, you could use that, but it does leave an edge, and what I want to do for masking is cut it just inside of that line. So and I'm doing 2 layers. You could do 3 layers if you wanted to, and so I'm just going to come around this edge. Now I'm not too worried about the bottom bit of the balloon. Just come in here like this. So this is a very traditional stamping technique. It's great where you have characters. So if I wanted, you know, 5 or 6 badgers all there together, it would work perfectly for that. But I decided you didn't want to see me colour in 6 badgers. So just cutting around this edge. I don't know if you can see, I've just left a little bit of that ink behind. There we go. So it's good to revisit older techniques every so often, just to remind yourself of how they work, but also from my point of view as a demonstrator, there might be new people that haven't seen this technique. So basically now we have 4 balloons, and what we're going to do is pop a balloon onto each one as we mask, which you will see. Okay, so the weird thing about masking is that the one that is in front is stamped first, and then you stamp the layers behind, which I always thought when I first started was sort of back to front, because you'd think you'd do the background ones first and then the foreground, but it doesn't work like that. So what I'm going to do is position one and then position my balloons around it. And I haven't really decided which colours I'm going to use, other than I've got a selection of brights. So I've got Granny Apple Green, Coastal Cabana, Gorgeous Grape, I've got Pacific Point, Mango Melody, and anything else. And I've got hair on there. There we go. So we have another dull day here in the UK. Well, certainly is where I am. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this one here. Like so. Okay, that is Coastal Cabana. And then I'm going to add my mask and position this. I'm going to stamp one to the to the right. So I'm just positioning the mask just inside of that edge, so that we don't have a gap in between the two. So let's take Gorgeous Grape and a hair. Okay, let's pop this one here. Now this is actually a photopolymer stamp, so to get the best out of it I really should be stamping onto a mat. So let's grab one of those. Oh, Kerry's had a lot of rain. Yuck. We haven't had much rain, not here, but it's just dull and yuck. And I've just caught the edge of that somewhere. Never mind. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp one on this side. So let's change colour. Let's go Pacific Point. So I can leave that mask in place. I am just going to lift it and move it slightly to the right, like so. Like that. So now I've added the mat underneath. This is one of our foam mats. There we go. And I can leave that one in place, but let me just lift it so you can see. So see the difference between that and that. So here you see the overlap, and then here it's separated. Now, as I said, actually with balloons, if they were clear, you know, sort of cheap balloons, you'd see through them anyway, but never mind. Okay, so I think this card would work for a youngster, for any age really. It's a little bit of fun, isn't it? So now I'm going to put another balloon up in here. So I want to mask off this one. And this one. And you can use the masks, you know, over and over again until they get too tatty. Okay, and I'm just bringing the balloon down just a little bit. Let's see, let's go Mango Melody I've got here. Just want to send this off. See what it looks like. Yep. I did treat myself to some replacement ink pads in the sale that we had. Was it last week? Yes, it was last week, wasn't it? Because mine get used a lot for coffee and card and classes. Sometimes they just need replacing. I do top them up, but I thought let's have some new ones. Okay, so there's Mango Melody. Let's add another one here. So you can see how we can build this up. You can have your balloons at different angles as well. You don't have to have them straight. And an example of extreme masking, let me see if I can find it. Is this one here that I did with the sheep. So I did this in Celebration. So this is just this one sheep. Started with this one and then masked and worked my way around, and then added a little bit of blending. Sorry, that's in a protective sleeve because I want to frame it. I was going to do one black sheep, but I haven't quite got the courage yet to colour one of the black sheep in. But that's a perfect example of using masking, because also you wouldn't see through one sheep to the next. Okay, so we've got those two covered up, and let's go Granny Apple Green. There we go. To stamp this off, and I'm just stamping off so I can see how well inked these are. Just making sure there's no cat hair or anything on it. Okay, so this one's going to go in here, and again just adding a little bit extra pressure where it meets the post-it note. There we go. Right, let's take these off and see where we're at. Okay, so you can see that effect. So basically I'm going to fill this, give or take, with balloons until I run out of colours, but I will mix and match the colours so that we've got, I'm not going to do every single one. Oh, Catherine keeps losing network, bless you. It's annoying when things, you know, technology doesn't quite go to plan. And so this morning I've managed to mislay my mobile phone. It's somewhere in the house because I had it earlier on for my alarm, but I put it on silent yesterday for our evening crafting session and I didn't take it off silent. So it's not a great deal of good me actually ringing it. Because I can't hear it. I might have to wait till it's dark and then ring it. Okay, so I'm just putting these two masks back in there and I've just put ink on there. Look, never mind, I shall do a dark colour there. Let's put a grape one in here. So you can just have fun building these up. I'm just going to add the strings after rather than try and fit those in, and I will just stamp use a pen for the strings because there's really too many there to do separate strings with. There we go. So I left a little bit too much of a gap there, so there's a little bit of white, you can see that. So I might just use my blender pen to move a little bit of ink around. Right, let's do this one here and cover up that. It's because I've got my glasses on. Right, glasses are off. 1, 2. I'm going to put one down here and one up in there. Right. Could use a red, couldn't we, I guess? Got blues, greens and purples. Quite like those. So I've got, maybe I'll put Pacific Point in there. Should put Pacific Point there. So you can just have fun. Have fun building up your picture. Rid of that little hair on there. It's amazing how these hairs transfer. Let's put this one at an angle. So just a little bit extra pressure where that post-it note is. You don't want to use cardstock for this because it'd be too thick and you'll get more of a distinct line between them. So just a post-it note or thin paper and hold it in place. That would be an alternative. Right, I'm going to pop one in here. So I'm going to introduce this mask over that one, like that. And I think I'm going to do a green one. So just adding a little extra pressure where those post-it notes are. So now if I lift those off, you can see how that is building up. So I'm going to add a few more around here. Now the danger is, as you're doing this, is you get a little bit complacent and you forget to cover one of them up. So always have you know, more masks than you need, because it's really easy just to forget. So I've got, let's do a Mango Melody down here. So I think I'm going to leave that one as the center one. So let's do a Mango Melody down here. So just take your time. As I say, I haven't cut out the little bits at the bottom. Not it's just you know, too small, and at the time you cut it out there would be too much of a gap. So let's clear that off, make sure that's clean. Grab Mango Melody. Let's have this at a bit of an angle as well. So great fun to do. You've just got to take your time. And obviously this is a fair bit of masking. Normally you may only have sort of 1 or 2 things that are masked. So the question is, do I do any more? So I could make them go off the edge. I could definitely put one up in there, couldn't I think? So there's 1, 2, and 3. So as I say, you can use your masks over, but when they get really inky, that's the time to replace them, because you don't want the ink to seep through. And I'm just going to have this one just there on the top. And I think, what colour shall I do? I think I'm going to keep to these colours. So I'm going to do, let's see what's underneath, green Copacabana. So I'm going to do this lovely Pacific Point. So if you're watching yesterday, as I was saying, we had a really great class in the afternoon, card class. And I'm finishing the class in a box packs hopefully today. Always takes longer than I estimate. Just one of those things. There we go. So let's lift this off. 1, 2, 3, like so. And there we've got our bunch of balloons, which I could carry on, but you've seen. I think you've seen enough. I'm sure you've seen enough. So I'm going to add some strings down for that. I think I'm just going to hand draw those in, and I could add from the Penguin Play stamp set. There is a little happy birthday, so I think I'm going to put that one on there. It's a really cute, tiny little happy birthday, as you can see here. This is a really sweet set. And although obviously the penguin is perfect for Christmas, you do have the balloon and the presents and a little bag. So there's nothing to stop you using that outside of Christmas. So I've got a little happy birthday here. I want to grab a small block for that. I think I'm going to do that in a might do it in basic grey. And then I've got the badger to colour in, and then I don't think I need to put a sentiment on the outside. So I'm just going to try this on my Copacabana one here to see. Yeah, that will stand out. Okay, so I've got my happy birthday, which is going to fit in there perfectly. Like so, if you can see that. Okay, let's cover up some of these inks before I make a complete mess. Okay, now where I've got a few gaps here, I could use a blending brush. So that is the water-based brush, if I can find it. Just to blend that ink, because I don't want to add anything. Okay, I need to put my glasses on so I can find my blending brush and a pen for my lines. So I've got this one here, which is a very fine pen. I've got assorted ones, so I buy these in a pack, and this is a brush pen, it's just thicker. Let me grab, I want to grab a blends pen. There we go. Okay. So all I'm going to do, oops, with this one is I'm not going to add any ink because I don't want to make it darker, but what I want to do is just make sure this is clean to start with, and just along that edge just blend that ink like so. Make sure you clean off in between, and this one here, so, and here. There we go. Now I can hear the vibrations of my phone, so it's either straight upstairs in the bedroom above me or it's somewhere here, so that's good news. Okay, so I've covered those gaps a little bit, and then I'm just going to draw my lines. So I've got 0.3, just have to be brave. So, and then you've got these extra ones here, so I never quite know whether I should add those in or not. I've obviously got this one here that can't be loose, so I think what I'm going to do is just and then add one in here. There we go. Okay, so there are all my balloons. Hope you can see that okay. So just look at your comments. Oh, jolly good. Oh, how weird. There must be something weird going on with the phones. Kerry says I think it needs one at the top. Thank you, Kerry. Did you mean this balloon here, I wonder? Okay, let's colour in our little badger. So I'm going for the same colours as I did yesterday with the dark and light grey granite. So this is the dark. Glasses are off. So just bring this round here, and then I will actually ground this. I mean, this badger could be lifted off as well, couldn't it? So I was looking for really good suggestions yesterday for sentiments, a saying that you could have with this. Right, this bit is white, this bit is coloured. So either a Stampin' Up saying or a one that you come up with. There we go. And I'll use just using the larger surface here to cover it, and then I'll go over it. Now what I should have done was actually had this one facing the other way, I think, facing the opening of the card. I couldn't tell you why. Okay, let's just go over that with the lighter colour. And we're done. So obviously this masking technique takes a little more time than just stamping a balloon one on top of the other without masking, because you've got to think about, I suppose the colours don't really matter in the same way, but you've just got to think about making sure, A, that you start with the one you want in the front, and B, that you remember obviously to continue to mask all the way through. So the question is this badger going to be rising up, or am I going to ground this badger? Let me know what you think. I haven't got much space either way, but I put ground down here to make it look like he's disappearing upwards. There we go. And that will do. Let's add a little bit of a dot on the nose, like so. This brings that to life a little bit, doesn't it? Now I've got a Bermuda Bay card that this would sit on. I think that would work, or I could use Pacific Point, but Bermuda Bay is just a slightly darker colour than the Coastal Cabana, so I think that would work. And I've just got a little bit of ink here. You may not be able to see it, but I'm just going to use my little ink rubber to try and get rid of that. So let me know what you think. Should I ground him, or should I have him or her floating in the air? I need to put my glasses on to see your comments. Oh, cloud stamps. Yes. That's a good idea. Yes, we did mention that yesterday and I completely forgot. Okay, good point. So, who knows which stamp set has got a cloud stamp in it? So this is an ink rubber. It's called a sand eraser. This is actually produced by Tombow. We don't sell them, sadly, at Stampin' Up, but they are available at a good stationery shop, or I'm sure you can get them on the internet as well. So I could stamp a cloud, or I could mask clouds off. We like the floating idea. Okay, so I can either find a cloud stamp, or I could cut a cloud and use a blending brush over a mask. That would do. Just having a look to see. Excuse me, Cassie. That's nearly gone. So what I could do is, in the absence of an obvious cloud stamp, let's see. Cut a little cloud like so. And then use my blending brushes in blue to add the sky, and then this will leave little white clouds. So let's give that a go. Because I haven't got much space around, I'm doing fairly small clouds. So where's my other piece gone? So that will do for now. Okay, so I have a blue blending brush. I have a Balmy Blue ink pad. And I have some clouds. So I think what I'm going to do is do this side first and then move it round. Okay, let's take this off there because I don't want to get too much ink onto my pad. And we'll see. Let's give this a go. I know there's hardly any blue ink left on here. Let's see. Okay. There's the postman, jolly good. Post lady, I should say. So, just going to build this up, and I will move a cloud over there. I just want to see how this looks before I do anything dramatic. Let's have a look, see? Yeah, that definitely works. Okay, let's move this one and this one, so I've got those two together. It's amazing what you can do to improvise, isn't it? And because I'm only doing a light background, I don't feel the need to mask off those balloons. If you're doing a really dark background, then obviously you would want to mask that off as well. But you know me, I'm a very subtle person. There we go. I'm not worried that I'm going over that a little bit either. There we go. I think my clouds could be a little bit more fluffy, but hey ho. There we go. They do look a bit more like blobs, don't they? Never mind. There we go. And I'll build this up and bring this round here. So you could, if you wanted to, mask off those balloons completely again. but I'm not too fussed about it. Let's add this one here. So as you can see, I'm turning my card round so that I'm using my hand in the same direction the whole time, and then you get an even spread. Whereas if you're doing it from different angles, you're using a different part of the brush. This way I'm using the same part of the brush in each occasion. So nearly done. Let's add Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, probably could have done a better job with my clouds, but never mind. You get the idea. And this one I'm just going to have all in the sky. Got to love these blending brushes, haven't you, for this effect? They really are good. I'm so glad that Stampin' Up brought them out. I'd never used brushes before. I'd always steered clear of them. Not only because Stampin' Up didn't produce them, but I didn't really know what to do with them. And I'd never actually seen one, so they, you know, because they look like sort of foam, don't they? It's so difficult to see, but they're actually very, very fine brushes, and it just gives you this really nice soft effect. But you do have to just build it up gently. Don't, well, depending on the effect you want, I should say, build it up gently. There we go. So we have a floating badger. So thank you for that addition of clouds. So I want to see what Pacific Point looks like as a card base. So I've got one to hand. Usually have in my blues. Of course, everything except let's grab a new sheet. I think it probably looks better, doesn't it? Because we've got the 3 Pacific Point balloons on there, so this would tie in nicely. So I'm just cutting this from an A4 piece of card, cutting at 14.85, scoring at 10.5, and I know you can't see this because I'm just doing it off the bottom. There we go. There we are. So for those of us in Europe, I hope you have a nice day planned ahead of you. Carrie will be off to bed shortly. Okay, let's just put this down. It's going to use some seal for that. Pop that on there. I could layer that up, but I don't really want to cut into the card because it's quite tightly packed as it is. There we go. What do you reckon? Do you think that's come out all right? Hi Trudy. I hope you're feeling better. I really do. Okay, let's just pop an inside piece to that. I think what I might do is just put three balloons. I can't tell whether to put them up here or down there. Down here. Or down here. So let's grab Pacific Point, Gorgeous Grape and Granny Apple. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so I like those colours together. So let me just bring my match back in. Oh, let you out of prison. Oh, thank goodness for that. You poor thing. Just nasty. I think abscesses and all that are just horrible. Just horrid. Okay, so I'm just going to do 3 here. So this is my first one. Gotta love that stamp. And then we'll mask that off and then just put one either side. So there we go. So I'm going to put one to the left first. So I'm just bringing that mask very slightly to the right of the edge of my balloon so I don't get that little white gap. And then we've got Granny Apple Green, and a hair. It looks like a clothing hair rather than a cat hair, thank goodness. There we go, that's better. Okay, so this one here, and say just applying extra pressure where it meets that post-it note. 2, I'm just going to put one on the right hand side in Gorgeous Grape, and we're done. Oops. So this is definitely not a card you want to be mass producing if you need to do a lot of them in a hurry. Only because of the time it's taking for the masking. And obviously you could just do 1 or 2 balloons, would be much quicker. And you could do it to an extent without masking, as I said. I thought then for a minute I hadn't masked it off. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Let's grab our pen. Let's go for point. Oh, it's 0.3. That's good enough. Like so. Like that. And that will be our inner. Let's move that out of the way. And then you just want a really nice sentiment for the inside, don't you? Could do congratulations. So smart, so fun, so sweet and so wonderful. Or just a happy birthday. Okay, so there's my outside card. And then this one I'm going to pop on the inside. And I'll leave the inside sentiment because I can't quite decide what I'm going to put in. Okay, so as I say, a very I'll say old, that's the wrong word, but a very typical traditional stamping technique, which is masking, to show you how to do that rather than just stamping over and having overlapping balloons that you can see through. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will be back again tomorrow, Thursday at 7 p.m. and a reminder for 2 events coming up if you're local to me. One is that I am at the Christmas Craft Fair in Croughton on Sunday morning. Well, it's actually 11 till 3 p.m. on Sunday. If you're local, it's just in the village hall in Croughton, which is not far off the A43. And I will be selling our kits, so I will have our Stampin' Up kits available for sale, and I'll also be selling some of my handmade cards. So you're welcome to join me there. It is free entry. There's refreshments throughout the day, and food and things available, and Christmas activities for the children. So if you want to entertain the grandchildren, then feel free to bring them along. And then the next event after that is Saturday the 4th of December, when I have my buy one get one free sale, and that takes place at Evenley Village Hall in Evenley, and the postal code for that is NN135RY, Romeo Yankee. And it's basically all of my retired sale stock. You can purchase that, and for every £1 you spend with me on those items, you get to choose 3 items from the Christmas or the annual catalogue. So I will be emailing details of those. As soon as I've got my class box out of the way, I will be emailing details of those. So I hope that's useful. Thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the session. Went on a bit longer than planned, but there we go. That's just the way it goes sometimes. So I hope you have a good day or evening ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. Let me just bring that one back up to the camera, because I realise that you can't always see that. There we go. So thanks for joining me. I'm off to go and find my phone. Thank you very much indeed. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Look after yourselves. Look after your loved ones. Thank you, Lynn, Kerry, Trudy, Brenda, Sylvia, Tracy, and Catherine, if Catherine's still back with us. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care now. Bye-bye.